Hello, my knitterly friends. Thank you so much for dropping by. In this video, I want to build off of my English knitting method video and show how I knit ribbing. So that being said, if you have not seen that video, it definitely will lay the foundation for this one. It goes over how I hold the yarn that helps me knit faster using the English method. So if you haven't seen that one, definitely go check it out and then come back to this one once you've seen it. Because today I will very much be starting from the place of I've already explained how I hold the yarn, how I hold the needles, how I actually do every movement in my method. So it does play into how fast I can rib as well, and this beautifully builds off of that, honestly. So we are just going to dive right into ribbing. So basically, and I will have a disclaimer here, I am currently reaching around my tripod to do this, and that is hard to do. So if I was not doing that, I would be able to do this even faster. So that just being said, with practice, you can get to where you are ribbing pretty quickly. So I've been working on a 1x1 rib, so that's what we're going to start with. I will also show a 2x2 later in the video, just because that has been specifically requested. I'm just basically going to hold everything the way I normally do, and I'm just going to start ribbing. So what makes how I rib so fast? It starts with how I hold the yarn and the needles, yes, which, like I said, is covered in my other video. But it's also, I'm curious to see if you will have picked it up as I'm doing this. If not, then I will tell you. Basically what I'm doing is one fluid movement. And let me break that down for you. Start with a purl on this side. Okay, so as I'm doing this motion so I'm doing my knit, and then I go to take the stitch off of the left needle, that's when I am also switching my yarn to set me up to purl. And then the same thing here. When I am taking my stitch off the left needle like that, I'm switching the yarn around. So I'm going to do it faster so you can kind of see. So it's basically a fluid movement so that I set myself up instantly for the next stitch. So by contrast, this is how a lot of people rib, and that's why it's so slow. You do the complete knit stitch, and then you have to take time to set up for the purl, do this, and it's a lot more of a choppy motion, like this. So even that by itself is faster using the method that I use. So, but if you want that extra bit of speed and fluidity, just the fluid movement feels very, I don't know, it's just nice. Then that is where my little trick here can be helpful. So you can see I've been ribbing away. So this is my 1x1. So I'm going to go back through another couple of rows for you so you can kind of see. Oh man, knitting around a tripod. I've got to figure out an over-the-shoulder way, because not only is this very difficult to do, but my back is going to start hurting any minute now. And then I'm going to be like, oh. So at this point, and watch me like tangling my yarn. Oh my gosh. Also, knitting in front of a camera is a little bit intimidating as well. I will say I did make sure that I recorded a nice fluid segment for the intro, like the very beginning of the video, where I'm not talking. I was very much concentrating so that you could see the true representation of how fast I can go. Plus, like, knitting a little swatch like this is so like floppy and everything. My needle is hitting the desk. So like when I'm actually ribbing on like something with a bunch of stitches and it's heavier and I'm like just going, I get into the rhythm a lot faster, and it is a lot easier to go. Just go. So just so you know, I am very much not knitting in my natural element at this moment, but even so, it's still pretty quick. Like I'm doing, I believe I cast on 21 stitches for this swatch just to be able to show how I knit in my other video. And I just kind of kept going with this swatch because I was like, hey, I don't really want to cast on a new one if I don't have to. So also knitting with smaller yarn is easier, and like I am exaggerating my motions a little bit so you can see. Oh yeah, we've got a tangle. Love a tangle. Okay, tangle is fixed. All right, so we've got our 1x1 here. I know it's dark, but I really wanted it to contrast with the light background and the needles so that you could see what I'm actually doing. It's the same basic idea for a 2x2. Like, the only difference is you're obviously not swapping the yarn with every single stitch. So let me do a foundation row without talking so I can keep track of where I'm at, and then we'll kind of go from there. So knit, knit, swap, purl, purl. And like I said, this is 21 stitches, so I'm gonna have, you know what, I'm actually gonna do a decrease right here really quick, just to make it even number. All right, and then we're gonna go back. I'm losing track of where I'm at. Maybe what I need to do is just film a non-tutorial video with smaller needles, smaller yarn, like an actual project where I do all of these things, and have it like over my shoulder, and like that way I am not awkward at all, to show you guys all of the things in a more natural, easy way. And then link all of these individual tutorials, but that way you guys could see a little bit more easily. So we've got our 2x2 established. So I'm gonna go back through. So we're gonna knit, knit, prep for purl, 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 prep for knit, 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 prep for purl, 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 prep for knit. So it's basically just whatever last stitch is before you switch to the other stitch. So like whatever your last purl stitch is before you switch to the knit, you're just flipping that yarn around to the other side. Once you get used to just that extra like moment with that stitch, like include it, it's basically like part of the stitch. You get used to just including that as like this switch over moment, then it becomes natural, because then you're like, oh, you know your pattern. My next stitch is a knit stitch. Okay, cool. I just need to flip that yarn around, kind of thing. And it becomes a lot more fluid, and it becomes a lot more habitual. And then you just find yourself doing it. And it's like, oh, cool. I'm just, ribbing along, and you don't even, it gets to where you don't even realize, like for me, trying to show how, not doing that looks like was actually really hard. I had to concentrate more showing the individual movements than I do as one fluid movement, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Also, as a bonus, I'll show you really quickly what a 3x1 looks like. So for me, knit, 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 purl, knit, knit, knit. Oops, I split the yarn. Purl. I'm just not going to talk for a minute. Okay, so that's what a 3x1, and we'll just go back really quick so you can see. Oops. And then this is the opposite, because we're on the wrong side. It's honestly astounding how much my brain freaks out when I have a camera on me. Hopefully I will get more natural with these tutorials, and it'll be a little bit easier. Thank you for bearing with me though. Okay, so that was a 3x1 as well. I hope that this was helpful for you. I hope that ribbing is no longer a dread and a chore for you. That's why I started doing this in the beginning, because I would get to the part where I would need to rib, or like for a hat, I would see, oh, I need to rib for the first, 2-3 inches. Great, that's going to be awesome. It's going to take me forever. And I would dread it so much. But now ribbing is just as fluid as knitting and purling. Like it really doesn't cause dread or daunt me or lower my enjoyment of a project anymore. So with that being said, I hope that this was helpful. I hope that it accomplishes the same thing for you. Definitely let me know if it helps. I would be so tickled to know. And also, if you have any other things that you would like for me to record as a tutorial, definitely drop it in the comments. I do have plans to do a brioche tutorial as well, since that was requested. So keep an eye out for that. Make sure that you are subscribed, and I will see you in the next video. Stay cozy and happy knitting.